with Ryan Maloney and Spirits Medium Randall Bird. Live in the Jim Beam Cold Storage Studio at Julio's Liquors, Route 9 in Westboro.
All right, I think we're okay now. Hey, everybody, welcome to It's the Liquor Talking right here on WCRN AM 830. Wait a minute, I got to record this bad boy. Record it to the clouds. Great show lined up for you guys today. We got some special guests coming in, well, Randall's not here, so that always makes it good. Johnny on the spot is filling in right now. And of course, wait a minute, let me get his theme music going. And here he is, he's making his way.
As Randall would say, parting a sea, crowd of people, throngs, long flowing rope.
It is El Rey, the grape one.
And it's grape scepter.
And he's here for the wine of the week. All right, here he comes in. All right, enough of that nonsense.
Let's cut to the chase.
Let's cut to the chase today. Well, he does have to get out of here really, really quick because I will tell you right now, there's two big things going on upstairs today. I'll start this one, Ray. Hold on. Wine Stock, which is we're having a tasting today. It's natural, organic, biodynamic, and made with minimal manipulation wines. Now, don't let that scare you. This is not some hokey dokey stuff. These are like real brands. These are things that you know and love. You just might not have realized that they were like biodynamic, right?
Exactly.
This is like an old way of doing wine. So don't be turned off by that. That's from 2 o'clock to 3:30 today, April 27th. Now, to top that off and why Ray is gonna be going upstairs, there's a huge sale going on at the same time. This is the Great April Sale. All the wine that's up there, 750 size, is going to be 15% off one bottle. If you buy a bottle, you get 15% off. But if you buy 13, you get 25% off. So you buy the baker's dozen,
right?
Yeah, you get 25% off. So if they're already on sale and stuff like that, you won't get any further discount, but they do count towards your total amount.
Right.
So that's the big goings on upstairs. And now we should probably get to the wine of the week.
To the point.
To the point.
To the point.
Yes, to the point. All right, Ray, what do you got for us today?
Okay, so in conjunction with the tasting this afternoon,
okay,
I thought we'd show one of my favorite California wineries, Alexander Valley Vineyards Cabernet. This particular one is different than the one we have on the shelf in that this is 100% certified organic.
Okay.
So the Wetzel family that owns Alexander Valley Vineyards started in 1962, but they first planted the organic section in 2008. They have since expanded it to about 19 acres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in the Cabernet only. And this is a little unique in that if you go upstairs and you pick out a bottle of California Cabernet, there's generally going to be probably some Merlot, maybe some Petit Verdot, maybe Cab Franc blended with it, sort of Bordeaux style. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, which is really unusual for a California cab. So this is the 2019 vintage. What makes this a little different than the other cabs up there, because it's 100% cab, you get really, you're all tasting it out there, on the nose, some cassis, some black fruit.
You get some little green too.
Yeah. And a little chocolate on the nose. On the palate, in the mouth, you're going to get some black fruit, like black cherry, a little spice.
I get the spice box and it's got a nice tannins to it too.
Nice fine tannins in it as well. So this bottle was opened about 9:30 this morning. So
can't drink all day unless you start in the morning. That's
right,
scientific
right,
fact. So.
Yeah. So as I said, this is 100% certified organic. And, the funny thing is in California, they were kind of late to the dance on this. For decades, hundreds of years in Europe, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Portugal have always practiced what we call biodynamic farming and harvesting.
In the old days, they usually just call that farming.
Just farming, exactly. Exactly.
They didn't have a fancy word for it. They just did it. It was called farming, because they didn't have all this stuff to keep the pestilence or rot or anything like that away. The only thing you could do was plant and pray.
Exactly. So with organic, there's no pesticides, there's no fertilizers used. It's all natural. And the difference between organic and biodynamic is, well, biodynamic is basically the same, only it's a level above. So biodynamic means during the fermentation process, there's no filtration, there's no clarification of the wine using chemicals.
Right. You can do it naturally, but you can't do it any other
All
way.
natural, correct.
No, what's funny about, and I don't think a lot of people understand, is there's an extra step you have to go to be certified organic, which is another hurdle for a lot of these wineries to jump through. But what a lot of people don't understand is you got to either be isolated or your neighbors have to be practicing it too. Because if something happens and your neighbor sprays a chemical for their grapes or their crop, whatever it happens to be, it doesn't even have to be grapes. It could be, sorghum for all I know.
Anything that can go
Anything can go airborne. As soon as they do it, you will not pass certification.
That's right.
So it's either you got to be isolated or everybody around you has to be doing this too.
So
it's like a safety net. You have to have a safety bubble
Interesting.
around you.
absolutely. That's why a lot of wineries that do practice organic, biodynamic, do not go through the certification process, because if they do, and it is time consuming to get that and also costly, that if by chance a blight does occur, they are not allowed to come back and to combat that with insecticides or whatever. And that's the problem. So even though a winery is practicing this way, they choose maybe not to go through the process to be certified.
Right. So, and that sort of falls under the biodynamic sort of thing.
Yes.
They're not doing it on purpose, but if the neighbor had
If their
something,
neighbor, yeah.
had something on. Well, I really like this wine. So this is, tell us what it is. Tell us what the price is
Okay, so
again on
this is
this.
Alexander Valley Organic Cabernet. It's $26.99 before discount, and it's in our organic section. Now we have the regular Alexander Valley Cab that goes through the same process, but is not certified. We
Right.
have that on a different section in our.
I like,
that
that's the
section.
one, the lovely Jennifer and I, that's the one that we love that wine. This was really good too. I'm really,
like this. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not, I'm one of those guys that biodynamic, just make the wine. I'm cool. Does it taste okay? Yeah, whatever.
It's what's in the bottle.
That's what's in the bottle that counts.
Well, we have a little notoriety on this wine. So back in 2016, we received the first shipment of this wine, and we were one of the first stores in the entire country to take this in. So it was 2016.
Yeah.
It was the first time we had it here, and it obviously sells because we still have it here. And thought we'd show it today. It's the 2019 vintage.
2 minutes.
Which a good year.
Good year. And then just so everybody is aware, so you're going to get 15% off by the bottle if you just buy a bottle of this. If you mix it in or buy a full case plus 13 bottles, you'll get 25% off of that.
Correct. Yeah.
So, you can get that down to some really nice numbers, and you can fill your wine cellar, as they say.
Exactly.
I really like this. Now, just for today, though, I know you have you got 12 tables for the wine stock, which is at 2:00. You have 12 tables.
12 tables, and on average about 5 to 6 wines
So
per table.
60 or more wines.
Correct.
60 or more wines to
Yeah.
taste. Come on down today at 2:00. Taste that. Shop the sale, because you definitely want to get a hold of that. And go ahead, Johnny.
These are all organic today, right?
They're all organic,
Organic.
biodynamic. There's
Yes.
or natural.
So it's an opportunity at the same time to come down and learn about that
Right.
category.
Exactly.
So where I personally am not a huge wine connoisseur, but I've already learned a lot from you this morning. So we can.
Well, how do you like the wine? That's the more important thing.
Exactly. I like Cabernets, and this
Yeah.
is
How about a studio audience? Are we okay with those? Yeah, good. You got
thumbs up
some
around
thumbs
the
up
house.
Good.
around the house.
Good.
All right, Ray. I know you got to get up. You got a busy
30
day
seconds.
today.
Got to run.
You got 30
Busy-
seconds.
Ray's going to have this open. This will be open all day. I mean, if you don't, and don't forget about the wine tasting machine. So even if you don't, or you have to come early, you can't make the tasting. at 2:00. You can still try stuff.
It's 12 wines.
12 wines in the machines today.
10 seconds.
So you can try that. But thank you. All right.
Pleasure.
We're going to take a little bit of a break. Ray's going to run upstairs and we're going to bring on our special guest today. Thank you, Ray.
You're listening to
There you go.
It's the Liquor Talking on Radio WCRN 830 AM. See you on the other side.
All right. So during
So,
the break,
Ryan,
yes.
do you see the Lucy controls?
If I pull up Lucy, you know this is going on our podcast, right? Yes, I do see the Lucy controls.
Yeah.
You want the microphone down or up? Yes, I see the Lucy controls. Yes.
What position is it at?
Almost, it's below middle.
And the headphones?
Middle.
So,
I bring them both down one click. Please.
Okay. There you go. Sorry, studio
Much
audience
better.
and
Thank
people
you. You're
listening
all
to us
set.
on
there we go.
Facebook.
Technical
This is
adjustment.
this is
Hey,
Randall speaking. Is this all
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, this is Randall speaking. I don't know. Randall's MIA today, so I don't know what's going on. So I'll try to get a hold of him
But
later.
that's okay because I'm
Well, Johnny on the
very
spot.
excited for our next guest. So I'm
Well,
I'm
that's
good
why
with
his name
Randall
is
not being
his
here.
name is Johnny on the spot, right? Well, we brought him on. We got the stuff in front of us. I will introduce him, but when we get back on the radio, this will be your proper introduction because we obviously want everybody to know who you are. I'm just going to tell everybody this is Ian Palmer, and so what's your official title?
So my official title for the next 2 or 3 days is managing director of InchDairnie.
There you go.
But thereafter, I'm moving on into the big bad world of being the chairman of the company as of the 1st of May.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're
right.
so distillery manager would be sort of that would be the master distiller.
So, yeah. So his name is
That's-
Scott Snedden.
Yeah.
So, but I'm the founder of the company.
Yeah.
I started it all up in 2011. Designed the stills and everything. So it was my crazy idea.
Okay. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna reintroduce you when we come back on the air. But do you want to play a little game with us?
I'll play a game with any.
All right, there we go.
Should we
Well-
tell Ian that this is the show within the show, right?
Yeah,
now?
this is
Show
the show.
within the
We're in
show.
the
This is the
commercial
secret.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
this is the secret show.
Yeah, so this will be on the podcast and
Yep.
Facebook and all that stuff. And
Okay.
then there's the radio show. You'll hear the producer come in,
Oh, right.
Headphones, which is who we were talking to when you guys.
Was
couldn't-
that?
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, was it? We're gonna do. So during the break, a lot of times we'll try a new product that's coming out. So
Okay.
you get to be sort of the I can't say guinea pig anymore. I have to say lab rat.
Lab rat.
What's wrong with guinea pig?
That's what.
Well, somebody called me on that, and they're like, it's a Italian slur. I go, it has nothing to do with the Italian slur.
No.
It's a completely different spelling and a completely different meaning. There
Right.
actually are guinea pigs.
Yeah.
So
From New
I didn't get it. I'm Italian, so
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I guess I could use it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna try this. This is Greg Norman presents Caddy, which is a clubhouse cocktail. This is called the Wedge. It's a half and half lemonade and tea. Are you up for that?
The name has put me right off straight away, but let's go. You should never have told me what it was in it.
No, no, well,
I've
got
already
it.
made my
Listen,
mind up. Okay.
Listen, I didn't grab the Malort. You know what Malort is?
Yeah.
I didn't grab that. So you could be thankful that it's only just tea and lemonade. All right. So this is a product I think will probably coming out this summer. This is a ready to drink vodka cocktail. So it's got vodka in it. It's at 5.9% ABV.
Okay.
All right. And so I call these they call these RTDs,
Yep.
right? Ready to drink.
30
So-
seconds.
but if it's in a can and you can take it anywhere, I call it RTGs. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
So they can go anywhere. So
Okay,
that's a little bit
okay.
different than having it in a glass bottle, but let's try it. Okay. I'll refer to, well, you're a
10
guest.
seconds.
He doesn't have to say it, but go ahead, Johnny.
It's a little on the sweet side. There's definitely a lot of sugar in there, but I think for what it's advertised as, I think it's as advertised.
Okay. What do you think, Ian?
Sweet. And as advertised.
cannot
I think that's a great way to put it. It is exactly what it says on the can.
Live from the Jim Beam
Coming back
Cold
now.
Storage Studio.
The answer
in
is
heart
no.
of Julio's Liquors, Route 9 in Westboro. It's the Liquor Talking with your hosts, Ryan Maloney and Spirits
There
Medium,
we go.
Randall Bird.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's the Liquor Talking right here on WCRN AM 830. During the break, we tried Greg Norman's Caddy Clubhouse Cocktail. You be the judge, but not for me.
There's a water there if you need.
Yeah,
it.
there's water. We gave you water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
no, so-
I'll use that to wash it down. Yeah.
Ray had to go. Ray had to go upstairs. Obviously, we have big stuff going on today at Julio's Liquors. But we got a special guest with us today. Ian Palmer is here. He is the grand poobah of. Now I'm going to say this right. InchDairnie.
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 Yeah.
Damn it! I knew I was going to get it wrong. InchDairnie Distillery, and that's not hard to say. But I've had your product already. It's easy to drink. Hard to say, but easy to drink. And I love the fact that it's actually called Rylaw.
Yeah.
Which is not it doesn't have it has the distillery name, which I can't pronounce, and I don't think anybody else can, on the bottle. But that's if you were looking for it, you used to say, "Hey, do you have any of that Rylaw stuff?" But you're the what is your new title? Like, explain to me your title and what you've done.
So really, maybe if I was to give you the history, and then
That's probably what
that
we
would
do.
land exactly where we are.
All right.
So
good.
I've been making Scotch whiskey for almost 47 years. So way back.
So you just started.
I just started, and when I did start, child labor was perfectly legal in Scotland.
That's right.
That's why I look so good as I do at my age.
There you go.
You're
go.
only 27, which is great.
I'm
That's
27.
awesome.
It's been a
It
tough,
ages you a little bit, though,
it's a
doesn't
tough shift.
it? It is a tough shift.
So worked for a number of companies within the industry, but always making Scotch whiskey. But I kind of felt towards the end, I thought, tell you what, a little bit of arrogance drops in, a little bit of voices in your head drops in, and you go, tell you what, I reckon I can do this myself. So I decided to start out my own business.
I think they call it experience. Right?
Experience, yeah, that's, yeah.
Well, you know,
okay.
it's a combination of experience and stupidity because everybody always says, "Hey, you know what you should do? You should do that." And you went, "Oh, sure, I'll go do that." And then you realized all the other things that are involved.
Correct.
And it's
yeah.
like you had that nice freedom where you're actually just making whiskey and didn't have
That's
to worry about everything else.
That's
Now
right.
you put the whole world on your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, in all of these big businesses, there's a cupboard
That's right.
full of 16 people.
That's
and,
right.
And they do all those things that you know absolutely nothing about.
Right.
So when you set up your own business, those 16 people in the cupboard ain't there anymore.
Right.
And you got to go, oh yeah, we need insurance. Oh,
Right.
Right. You know, those
Right.
sorts
Right.
of crazy,
Yeah.
mundane, boring things,
Sure.
but they need to be done.
Correct.
But it's a great experience to start your own business. You have to believe that you can bring something to the table. Otherwise, where's the point?
Well, I think one of the things is with your experience and stuff like that, you go like, I know I can make great whiskey, and everybody else could come to the table and do like the insurance and do the other stuff. But if you don't have the person at the helm that can actually make the great whiskey, you're doomed before you start.
Yeah.
And in most cases, you have to hire the right person.
Yes.
You did it this time. You had the right person.
But I had to bring in a team. There's no
Right.
way that we were going to build the InchDairnie distillery, which is, today is going up to 4 million liters of alcohol. It's a big distillery.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
serious operation. So you need a team. And
Right.
that's and that very, very early on, while we were still under construction, I brought in Scott Sneddon.
Okay.
So he really is he was the distillery manager. He's no longer the distillery manager. I got rid of him as the distillery manager. He's now the managing director.
I was gonna say, what's he doing now?
So that's what he's
So now
doing
he's in
right
charge of all the people that make the
Yes,
whiskey.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that so he's now responsible now for all the mistakes that I made.
Throw that on his shoulders. I love it. I love it.
That's what we're doing. So Scott is now running the distillery, running the operation, and but he was very instrumental in helping us develop the Rylaw Scottish rye whiskey.
So you went from you just actually built the distillery and then just started distilling, correct?
Yeah.
So everything that we're trying along the way is all your product, all your stuff, right?
100%.
That's a difficult thing to do, my friend.
You have to hold your breath.
Yeah.
And hope
And your
you-
wallet.
Yeah, and you hope you don't run out of oxygen before
Right.
it finally gets there. But that's part of building a business. So, I mean, I actually built a business before I built the distillery.
Okay.
Because there's no point in building a distillery if you run out of money in the first 20 minutes.
Right.
There's no sense in that. And you let a lot of people down. So we have to build the business first.
Okay.
And we had to get it going because one of the pitfalls we desperately wanted to avoid was we did not want to put out a young spirit.
Okay.
It had to be matured, and we had to believe that that was the best possible whiskey that we could make before we put it in the bottle. We didn't want the pressure, oh, the tax man is chasing us, the banker is chasing us, we need to pay the insurance
That's right.
man. No, we wanted to make sure we had a good solid foundation, a good solid business that would then allow us to do some of the crazy things that we're currently doing.
Okay.
And-
So what did you start off doing? So give me the breakdown of this.
So-
this is really interesting.
So after we got all the permissions, which in Scotland there's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
So we get all
In America, there's a lot of paperwork too. Trust me.
Thus the
Bureau-
16
yeah,
people in the
yeah,
cabinet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Bu-
right. Yeah.
Bureaucrats have a great way of making that all happen. for
They
you,
they
right?
sure do. So we started building the distillery, and then we began to commission the distillery, and then we set off nice and gentle and started distilling really the single malt.
Okay.
Because really that's the one that we really wanted. That's the whole picture around the distillery. It was all about a single malt distillery. So we had to get that going, calm it all down, find out where that bolt that you found in the car park should have been, because it was holding something together.
Right.
And we had to do a lot of that. And very quickly we settled down. We started distilling in December 2015.
Okay.
And really spent a lot of the early part of 16, calming it all down, getting the great team that we recruited to run and operate the distillery, and then we began to settle down. And then very quickly we said, right, now we need to think about all the other things we were going to do, because the InchDairnie distillery is not your normal distillery.
Okay.
It's not just another distillery. We built it and designed it so that we could handle different grains. It wasn't just for malt whiskey.
Mhm.
This is, and really different barleys, winter barleys,
I
spring
see where this
barleys.
is going.
And
Yeah.
we really wanted to get into things. And then we created this new product development laboratory that we had. And it's actually a brand called the Prinlaws Collection. And we take out 1 week from every year and we do something really stupid.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
great.
always good.
Great.
Get it out of your system now,
Yeah,
right?
love it.
1 week of
Absolutely.
stupidity.
Yeah, that's it. Like we made whiskey from oats, from malted oats. We
There you
made
go.
it from malted
Yeah.
wheat. A small homage to our American culture. We actually made sour mash.
Yeah.
We made sour mash Scotch whiskey. That really ruffled a few feathers. And last year we really annoyed the Irish, and we made actually pot still whiskey in Scotland. And
But you're also building upon that experience by
Yes.
doing that, right? Because then
Yeah.
you try like all the different grains, and
yes,
I can see where this is going.
yeah.
Well, but
So-
what's the distillery look like? How are you distilling? What is the still itself?
So we have 2 pot stills.
Okay.
It's like any other malt distillery. It's a double pot still.
Okay.
But we have a special spirit still that we use for our first brand, the Rye Law. It's used almost exclusively for the
Okay.
Rye Law.
So you built in the ability to do innovation in the
It was built
distillery itself.
into the design,
Yeah.
into the DNA of the distillery to do different things, because it was all about flavor. And we
Right.
wanted to pull different levers and to try different grains like the rye that we've got here in the Rye Law.
I love that. It's like bucking the trend at the same time too,
I
little
think
bit. Like
some
going-
people say,
going against the grain.
where you're not being a bit, and where you're
Oh,
not taking
Randall
a
is here.
risk by going against the grain, to
Sure.
which I said, well, no, it's a bigger risk if you just sit back and enjoy the ride. No,
I-
that wasn't
I-
going to work.
I agree.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, but you got to also look at you sort of like you'd be swimming on the same stream everybody else is.
Right.
And that's especially I think in Scotland, that's like a single malt Scotch.
Yes.
Everybody's doing
you
it. You
go.
can do some different finishes, you can do this
Yeah.
or that, but you're in the same stream moving along.
Yeah.
It's tough to, if you're doing that, to sort of say, hey, it's us. Look over here. Look
Yes.
what we're doing. Look what we're doing.
Yes.
So in order to do that, you got to say like, okay, I'm going to go on this tributary.
Yep.
And I'm going to break off from where everybody else is going. And then you can maybe get somebody the light to shine on you a little bit more. too.
Yes, because there's fewer of us on that.
But if you do
tributary.
it correctly,
If you got to do it right, and that's the secret. And a rye is always a difficult one to
now,
make sure.
what do we have here in front of us?
So really, what we've got here is this is the finished rye law here. This is the one that we brought out now. But what we've got here is to explain a little bit about the story.
Okay.
Because what we've got here is, in fact, what I call from Scotland is the new mate.
The cleric.
So this is the cleric. Absolutely. I try and keep it like new mate.
Well, if
but
you're going to
they-
have, if
because
you're going to be
some
in
people don't know.
InchDairnie
Yeah.
distillery, we're using cleric.
That sounds good for me. That's good for me. So what when we try and explain a little bit about the rye law, we like to try and
Yeah.
show people what else we're doing. So what we've got here is the new mate.
Yep.
But the rye law is in fact a rye whiskey. So we took the American definition of rye whiskey.
Okay.
And we took the Scottish definition of Scotch whiskey and we put the two of them together. We also said we did not want to make another American rye for two reasons. We were swimming in the same stream
Right.
as everybody else. But I think out of respect to the American distillers, we should not copy. We don't want to do a Me Too. So what we wanted to do was to make a Scottish rye. And that then meant that our rye was very different. So we had to explore, and this is part of the exploration of how we were going to bring it, how we were going to mature it, in particularly over here. Because this was a Scottish rye, so it's malted rye.
So it's
and
100% malted
barley.
rye.
It is not.
Okay. See,
Uh-huh.
this
This
is
is the
where I'm
part
getting.
that blew my mind.
Yeah, this is where I'm trying to get at. All right.
Right, because I listened to your last week. Right. So this here is 53% malted rye,
Okay.
47% malted barley.
Okay.
Now the reason for that is quite simple. 51% is the minimum.
30
So we were
seconds.
going to do that.
Right.
But what we wanted to do was to make sure we had a Scottish rye. So then that we had to have the malted barley had to be a major influence in how we produced it and in the flavor profile, while still allowing the
But if
rye
I'm
to come through.
If I'm understanding this is not a blend.
10
No.
seconds.
All right. We're going to leave everybody in suspense because we have to take a
Dun, dun,
break.
dun.
So,
So-
when we come back, we're going to explain why this is the way you did it. And I know where John's getting to. It's a really neat concept. So
We'll get more with Ian Palmer on the other side. You're listening to It's the Liquor Talking on WCRN Radio AM 830. See you on the other side.
okay,
Yeah.
this is a pretty quick break
Yep.
that we're going to go into. So we were trying to figure out how else we could
Hi, Ian.
torture you. So speaking of which, since some Ray's dropping bottles upstairs.
Timber.
Yep.
So since we did this this Wednesday, since we're gonna try your rye,
Yep.
okay, we're gonna do Claremont Steep, which is an American single malt.
Yeah.
Have you had this?
I have had some, but not that one.
Okay,
No,
so this
not
is
the-
actually done by Jim Beam.
Yeah.
I'll give you one.
And if I
give John
remember
one.
the stats correctly, I believe this is a 6-year-old in virgin American oak.
Oh,
Oh,
Virgin American
okay,
Oak. You are
okay.
correct, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
This actually sells in like around $60 or so, just so everybody knows. But this is a malt. They did a malted barley, aged in new American oak, which is the sort of the difference on this one. And I can tell you, the fermentation was heirloom jug yeast recipe, aged 60 months in new American oak, and hand selected malted barley, all coming from the United States. So
Okay. So a
So-
16-month maturation and 100% malted barley.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the U.S. take. I mean, this sort of, just so you sort of get this, is that this actually denotes the big boys getting into a category, which is a fledgling category that
Yeah.
is not really super defined yet. It
Mhm.
is going to be. I mean, they're all working towards this. But now that you have somebody like
1
Jim Beam
minute.
jumping in,
Yeah.
now you have like almost like that legitimacy label attached to the single malt. Well, quite a few people have been doing single malts in the US for
It's
quite a
growing.
while now.
It's been growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I think it's very nice. I
That's
think it
nice,
could do this a little bit longer in wood.
I'm wondering as we're going on if this is going to be
30 seconds.
they're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not grainy. It's not
Yeah.
this. It's not that. So you release it, but now do you continue? I think there'll be some older versions of this.
They were originally using this in their blends for their little books.
Little books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Yeah.
I think it was nice. I think we had
All right, guys.
Ali
here we go.
Klug here to explain to us. It was great. All right, let's go back to the show. Actually, all right.
I think we're going back to the show.
I think so.
There it is.
What do you get when you mix a spirit specialist extraordinaire with Lord Supreme Commander of the Gardens? You get It's the Liquor Talking with Ryan Maloney and spirits medium Randall Bird. Live from the Jim Beam Cold Storage Studio in Julio's Liquors.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's the Liquor Talking. Hey, Randall's MIA today, but that's why we call him Johnny on the Spot. Johnny on the Spot's here with us. John Hendricks, otherwise known on if you follow his reviews and stuff as Frisky Whiskey, does some great reviews. Thank you, John, for sitting in. And we're talking. You want to introduce Ian?
Sure.
Go ahead.
It's Ian Palmer from InchDairnie.
Well done.
There we go.
Well done.
Dairnie.
That's it.
I threw it on him, and he took
Yeah.
the bait, but he came through.
Yeah.
I love
that's
it.
right. That's right.
All right, and we're gonna get into sort of your whiskey and why it's different. But we've been torturing you during the break. We might as well keep torturing you.
Yeah.
We do a thing called the question of the show. This is actually Fever Tree's question of the show. We do a question every week. And what I've been doing is not giving the multiple choice answers, but seeing if we could just answer them the way they're just off the clue. And here we go. The Fever Tree question of the show. Oh yeah, we got hats this week. This is part of our we're getting corporate here.
Fever Tree.
Yeah, Fever Tree hats. All right. The Fever Tree question of the show is: a Cuba Libre is rum, cola, and what citrus juice? The Cuba Libre is rum, cola, and what citrus juice?
Go to the audience.
Audience, yell it out. Lime. She said lime.
I'm gonna believe our audience. I'm going with lime.
You had no clue. Now you
I
can
don't
go
have
with the
a
audience.
clue. Exactly.
Come on.
On the basis that I know the audience,
Yeah.
she's definitely right.
Oh. I shouldn't have went to you. All right.
See how I did that?
Okay. I'm gonna give you multiple choice. It's lemon, grapefruit, orange, or lime. You still sticking with lime?
We're still sticking with lime.
All right. I got one audience member is like, I don't know. Let's see if anybody online that can answer on Facebook Live. The answer, of course, is lime.
Okay.
Is lime. Yeah. Somebody was smart enough to answer correctly, and other people were even more smart.
To go.
Is that correct? More smart? To follow along in her path.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So back to now we have your product is Rylaw.
Yes.
First of all, explain the name.
The name Rylaw is actually taken from a farm just right next to the distillery. But the interesting thing is that it is very much about the name. In Scots, Law is a small hill.
Okay.
So Rylaw is the hill where the rye grows.
All right. That makes sense.
And it's a rye whiskey, so why not put rye
Right.
into the name? Yeah.
Okay. Now, as John alluded to earlier, this is not a blend of malted barley and rye, malted rye.
So it
Yeah.
is a mixture of the grain
Yeah.
before it's milled. So it is like a single malt Scotch whiskey,
Yeah.
but the two grains are put together above the mill, and they are then milled together.
You made a mash bill.
We made a mash bill.
Right? That doesn't happen.
You made a mash bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. The gods of whiskey did not strike you down as a pure miracle in Scotland, because I don't think there's too many people other than making beer that are doing a mash bill.
No, it's usually malt whiskey is 100% malted barley,
Right.
and that's that. But here at InchDairnie, for the Rylaw, we then headed off and did things different, and where we have taken the malted barley and the malted rye and put them together.
I love that.
And then milled it and then fermented it.
Yes, so we milled it mashed it to convert the starch into
Yeah.
sugar. No artificial enzymes because we're using the enzyme in the malted barley, and then it then gets converted into sugar. We then separate the solids from the liquid, exactly the same as in any malt distillery in Scotland, and we only ferment the clear liquor.
That's different now. That's different than the United States.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
separated off the solids.
Yes, separate off
Okay.
the solids because this is a Scottish rye.
Yeah, no, I
So
understand.
so we actually do it the Scottish way.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're keeping
Except not doing the Scottish way because you mashed it.
well, it's my interpretation. Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's,
that's
it's
good.
the InchDairnie interpretation of the new world.
So what is the powers that be, the Scotch malt
Whiskey Association has said
Association,
about this.
SW?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you're not saying you're Scotch malt whiskey, so they really
No.
don't have a say because you say
No.
I'm a rye whiskey.
No, unfortunately, there is no rye whiskey category
Sure.
in Scotland.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we are what's called the sin bin for the awkward squad, right? so the question, so actually it's a grain whiskey, but that's not a category. Okay, it's
Yes.
not. So the system goes, is it made from 100% malt? No.
So you're
Is it-
not Scotch.
So is it a mixture of malt whiskies? No.
No.
Is it a mixture of grain whiskey and malt whiskey? No. In that case, you're a grain whiskey, which to me is a disaster because, in my opinion, we are misleading the consumer here. And that's
Yeah,
what
but there's a lot of stuff that does exactly what you're saying. It's not a it's very, you end up in a category that really doesn't express what you just made.
correct.
And
Yes.
and the only way around that, unfortunately, is education. And the only way around that is telling your story enough times
Yes.
where people get to understand it. But here's the bigger thing, and wait a minute, I want to get some cups here because the only real way to do this, I'm gonna get some bigger cups here. The only real way to do this is to taste it
Yep.
and see if see what you did if it's any good. That's my subtle way of saying pour me some whiskey.
Pour you some whiskey.
But yeah, I love the concept of this and everything that goes along with it. I mean, it's so you get to be more of a trendsetter, right? Especially in this kind of category and area
I'm
of
I'm
call
too
it what you
old
want.
to be a trendsetter, but
regardless, there you are.
we are, yeah,
Right?
yeah. I think what we wanted to do was to explore flavor. And we
Yes.
wanted to explore flavor because we built into the distillery the ability to do things
lovely.
differently.
It's gorgeous.
And that's what we wanted to do. We actually wanted to put together a rye whiskey that spoke of Scotland.
Now, how old is this?
That's
By-
5 years old.
That's 5 years old.
5 years old. Yes.
First of all, by doing that predominant grain of being malted rye is one of those type, we can call ourselves whiskey after 3, let's say,
Yeah.
right. But rye actually, I think, has a maturing quality to it that tends to mature at an earlier age and gets rid of graininess earlier, as so does malted barley.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people would go like, wait a minute, it's only 5, and we're ageist, right? It's only 5 years old. How can this possibly be any good? Well, the grains you just used actually work perfectly at a younger age.
Yeah.
And they just come
Yeah.
together. What are you storing? What type of barrels are you storing in?
We took the American definition, remember? So it is in 100% new charred oak
Mhm.
casks.
Beautiful.
And that's one of the issues with age.
Right.
Because if we left it for too long,
Too much flavor.
then the wood
Yeah.
would
Would take over.
overdominate. And that is something we don't want one-dimensional whiskey. We want multi-dimensional whiskies. We wanted complexity of flavor. So we didn't want the vanilla in the oak to be just that.
Yeah, but you get in this, you're getting spice, you're getting that toffee, and then you're getting this creaminess, which is coming from the malt, the malted barley, and that's all coming together. This is a spectacular. I don't care what you call this.
Agreed.
I don't really care what
Right.
category it's in. It's delicious.
It's what's in the bottle, and it's what I'd say. It takes you on a journey.
Yeah,
Because I'm getting a lot of different things going on.
and it's got a surprisingly long finish. It gives I'd say like it. This is my new one because it. What's the ABV on this?
46.3.
Okay, so it gives you that warm feeling. It stokes the fire, but doesn't choke the chimney.
Yes.
You get that warming feeling, but you're not coughing afterwards. It's got a very good silkiness to it. Beautiful. Beautiful, my friend.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, thank you. It is a product that we have worked very, very hard at doing, because rye, the grain itself, is a complete nightmare. You know,
Oh no, we've heard
is-
that. For everybody
yeah.
that's worked with rye,
Yeah.
that's the first thing they say. I
Yeah.
go, I ask the question. I go, well, how was it working? Oh,
Yeah.
and it's like a horror stories of
Yeah.
working with rye, especially if you're, like you said, you're experimenting, you're trying this out. It's like most of the old hats have got this down.
How
know?
much of a cleanup did you have on that first run?
It was okay. It actually wasn't too bad, because we had done a lot of research. We did lots of testing, so we were expecting what was going to happen. So we were ready for it. We were really lucky in that the way that we had designed the stills, the pot stills. We did not have to clean up the pot stills at all, because we've done them differently. They're externally heated, and they're through heat exchangers, so they really were self-cleaning, and it worked really, really well. We had hardly any foaming in the fermentation.
Wow,
because-
that's
Yeah.
where you're lucky.
Well, we were lucky then. We're not lucky now, because we've
You
got
know
it
how.
planned out. Because in Europe, there are certain varieties of rye that do not foam.
Ah,
And it's also not 100%
Yeah.
mash bill. on
mash
the
bill,
rye.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've tricked it.
You
Yeah,
did.
our approach to things is to understand.
Right.
Don't just dive straight in, because that you really are going to make a mess.
Or
then,
it's
because-
what I like to call it scientific magic,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The science takes you so far. At some point, you're going to step off the bus and go for
There's
it.
the
Yeah.
magic part.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It's indeed.
No, it's first of all beautiful. This is fantastic. We got to get liquid on lips to everybody on
Agreed.
this. They got to really
Agreed.
try this to truly appreciate this. I really do.
1 minute.
Explain to me the bottle though, because you can't see this on the radio, but the bottle itself is super good. Hold on. Can you Ted? Can you push the commercial for 5 minutes, please? It's really is sort of
All
cool.
right.
What do you
Okay.
got?
So this actually is a bottle that actually is not a bottle. It's not a container. It's the story of the brand. And we have
Okay.
put everything into this that talks about the distillery and the brand. So on the base, we put InchDairnie Distillery right underneath there and into the glass, and InchDairnie on here. So that gives us the foundation.
Okay.
On the side of the bottle, we've got 3 ripples, and the number 3 is important. If you take a look at paragraph 3 and the legal definition of Scotch whisky, it will say it shall have the flavor and aroma of the materials used, the methods employed, and its maturation. The 3 M's,
Love it.
right?
Yeah.
So you play with the 3 M's, then you make a whiskey. So the 3 M's are here on the ripple on the side of the bottle. So where the 3 M's meet is where the magic happens
Ah, there
on
you go.
there. So up here, we've got the Rylaw, which
Yep.
is the name of the brand, but the distillery is located in an area of Scotland called Fife.
Okay.
And we say Fife grown, Fife distilled, and Fife matured. So all the cereal for all our branded whiskies is grown in Fife.
Oh, okay.
The distilleries in Fife,
Fife, yeah.
and all our whiskies are matured at the distillery
There.
under our
So
control.
the 5th to Fife on the
The
1st.
5th, the 5th on the 4th. There is more to that than meets the eye, but up here we say it's a Fife single Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a single because it's only from one distillery
Correct.
in there. And so we, on the neck of the bottle, we have paid homage to one of the most important pieces of equipment in the distillery. And this is where people go, that can't be true. The most important piece in the distillery actually is the hammer mill, because it's the mill that mills the grist. If you don't mill the grist right, the rest doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
So on here, we've got a hammer mill, and that's what represents on there, on that piece on there. This is actually put out as a vintage. So we talk about the year in which it was distilled and the year in which it was bottled, and we put that on the top of the bottle.
It's
just
beautiful.
there.
It's a beautiful. Listen, I love beautiful packaging on a bottle and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But you follow up with the liquid inside, which you do,
Yeah,
and
I
that's the
think-
more important part.
Yeah,
I love the way it looks. Don't get me wrong.
and the shape is all about our icon, and our icon is what I would call the copper dog. When you sample a cask, you put it in, you put your thumb over the top, and you draw it out.
Like
right,
this.
that one there. Now, the most
a
important
small one.
thing, really, the most important thing about this is when you pull it up, you hold it above the
1
bottle,
minute.
Yes.
because every drop is precious,
Right.
and it
You wanna
drops
leak it.
back into the cask. So that is our motto. Every drop is precious, and that is represented really there by the shape of the bottle.
Fantastic. You got to try this. Johnny will have this open for people to try. We're keeping the bottle. I don't know if I told you that, Ian, but we are.
No.
But we'll have it though. We only have a limited amount in right now. There's not a lot in the States. We're going to be getting, we're
30
actually
seconds.
already placed an order for more because we know that once people try this, they're really going to love this. Rye Law.
As a whiskey fan,
Yeah.
this is like everything that I love about whiskey, right? There's so much
Yeah.
passion that went into this. The story is phenomenal. More importantly,
10
what's in the
seconds.
bottle is great. So come find me.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
try it together.
All right. We got to take a little bit of a break. You want to stick around?
I'll
Have you had
stick
Kobe
around.
tortured you enough yet?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got,
Torture is easy.
all right. We got more. Go ahead. We're going to take us out of here, Johnny.
You are listening to It's the Liquor Talking on WCRN Radio AM 830 on your dial, and we will be back more with Ian Palmer on the other side.
You like Fever Tree, I think.
They're a sponsor.
They're a
Yeah.
sponsor. They're a sponsor.
I-
But they have you
I-
tried their stuff?
Oh,
This is gonna be a
always
quickie,
love
Brian.
Fever Tree.
Okay.
Always love Fever Tree. Yeah.
We're fans of Fever Tree too.
That was the best part about their becoming a sponsor
Yeah.
is that we're actually fans of theirs. So that
Right.
worked out great for us.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy. All right, so I'm going to try you some Irish whiskey. This is
Okay.
silky. This has a little bit of peat in it. We just did these guys like a couple weeks ago. That's a lot. I'll probably take that one. So I am one of those type of people that if I can't mix it in a minute, John's the mixologist over there.
Yeah.
If he can't mix it in a minute for me, I don't even want to talk about it. This is sort of the new Fever Tree out. And I'll explain that. That's silky, and they're doing some peated whiskeys.
Thank you, sir.
And I think this one I think didn't have as much. This one I had I think too much in it. We're trying right now. This is premium ginger ale.
1 minute.
It's a natural blend of flavors, including our signature blend of 3 gingers, classic ginger ale. So this one is a smoky ginger, Irish whiskey and ginger, and try that together.
All day long.
That's pretty good, right?
Much better
That's
than-
good.
Much
That
better than
good?
the other
That's
one we
good.
had, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
Better than the other one you had today, right?
It goes without saying.
But it's keep it simple, stupid. I used the silky, and this one has it's an Irish whiskey, but it's a little bit peated,
30 seconds.
not overly peated. But with the real ginger used in Fever Tree goes great together. It's a quick, easy, less than a minute. Mix it in a minute.
Even though it has
Correct.
that whispers of smoke, it's still
Yeah.
very refreshing.
Yeah,
It's-
it's
it
refreshing,
is
especially
actually.
finally getting some good weather out there today.
Yeah,
Right? So,
it's very nice. That.
Yeah.
I like that one. Let's try that myself.
Sitting
Yeah.
on my back deck drinking that one.
yeah, that's a good.
10 seconds.
All right, we got 10 seconds. We're gonna come back. We'll tie things up, and we'll go from there. All right, cool.
The concierge of all things alcohol, Ryan Maloney, and the medium of spirits, Randall Bird, join forces every week to bring audio nourishment to a parched audience. Live from the Jim Beam Cold Storage Studios in the heart of Julio's Liquors, Route 9 in Westboro, it's the Liquor Talking.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's the Liquor Talking right here on WCRN AM 830. And we're broadcasting from Julio's Liquors on Route 9 in Westboro. Come on down and see us. Go to juliosliquors.com for all pertinent information. You can follow this on Facebook Live. Go to Julio's Liquors Facebook page. You can see it there, or you can see this It's the Liquor Talking wherever you get your podcasts, such as Spotify. We have a very special guest today. Ian Palmer is here. We just tried his Rye Law
InchDairnie.
from InchDairnie. That's what I need to do. I need to do it with an accent.
Yeah.
And from InchDairnie, brand new out here. It's a rye whiskey, Scottish rye whiskey. I mean, it doesn't really fit into any category except its own beautiful category.
Which I love.
It's fantastic. Tastes awesome. You guys got to try it. If you haven't tried it, please come see John this afternoon. You can try it, and I know we're gonna sell it. We actually sold. Somebody got to try it at the Mass Pack trade show. We already sold the bottle this morning.
Which I
So-
have to say, this was the star of the Mass Pack trade show.
Yeah, I know. I got to get a bottle for my dad too, because I know he wants one. He really liked it. Too.
I had several people come up to me saying, "Hey, you have to go over there and try this," and I did.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was definitely like
Price on the shelf is about $130, if I'm not mistaken. That would actually fill into our. We do have a sale going on today. You can buy 3 different spirits. Any 3 different spirits will get you a 15% discount today. I would take advantage of that and put this in one of your 3.
Yeah.
Because it is. And listen, it's a 5-year-old. People are like, that's sort of expensive. That okay. It's all economies of scale. This is something totally new. There's a lot of money invested into this. Please, you will not be disappointed. Just try it before you buy it here at Julio's, and you will have
not that it's the same animal, because it's not. But if you compare it to a 5-year-old Octomore, price wise,
yeah. This is.
you're
I think you listen. If you, my dad said, I never liked rye whiskey. I love this. And so it's got enough similarities in there. It's got enough differences in there. It's its own. I'm going to say it's its own beast.
It is.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
It is very unique in many, many ways, particularly as you say, the mash bill, when you compare it to some of your American products, it's very, very different from a mash bill point of view.
Absolutely.
And that comes through in the flavor profile.
It's like nothing else I have in my collection at home. So this is
So it will be added to his collection.
Oh,
at home.
absolutely.
So,
Yep.
Great.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I know what I'm getting my father
And as
for Father's
the
Day.
studio audience even said that they didn't like rye, but they love this.
Yes. Yeah,
That's very
because I think it kind of it has the flavor profile steps outside what you would normally expect. Yeah.
Here's sort of a good thing. When people come to me and they say like they drink Scotch whiskey, right? They drink Scotch single malt. And they go, I'd like to try some of the American stuff. I want to try American whiskey. The first thing that I give them, I say, well, you should start with rye. Even though there's no rye in Scotch whiskey, it doesn't have that sweetness to it. And it's going to play a lot better with your type of palate. Start with rye. This is interesting. I found that what I really like about this is exactly those type of things, but you actually crossed it a little bit, and it does have a little bit of not sweetness, but it's got that little bit of a caramely sort of flavor to it. But I really love the mouthfeel and the way it all plays in. So they can now stay in Scotland if they don't want to go over to the American and try a rye, and then try a very, very good one, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think the caramel is an important flavor profile because it's like a sweet caramel.
Yeah,
so we get a lot of that caramel from the wood, but we also get a lot of the sweetness from the malted barley element.
Yes,
and the two of them come nicely together to give us the sweet caramel. Yeah.
It's that creaminess too. It's like there's a creaminess to this. That's really great. All right, we gotta try one more whiskey today, only because the name of the show is It's the Liquor Talking. We can do it as you want to do it as the drink of the show?
Sure.
All right.
Pass
I
this
can do it
down.
that way. Here, pass that down to John. John, give me your cup. I'll give you yours. And we'll give this one. There's yours, sir. There's yours. And here is mine. In New England, it's no one's business what's in your coffee mug. But today we'd like to tell you that it's Jim Beam, age 7 years, Jim Beam Black, age 7 years. This is brand new, back out onto the field. This is at 90 proof, so 45% ABV. Back out, new packaging, new juice in the bottle. Just started hitting the shelves. See what you think.
Now, I believe the term that comes to mind is one of your favorite terms, Ryan. I think this is what you call a shelf gem.
Yes. We've been talking about this a lot lately is, bourbon's gotten sort of out of control. There's a lot of stuff out there, but there is certain things that we call them shelf gems, things that are on the shelf, readily available, that you can buy that actually represent really good values out there. This is like $32 for this. And if you're into like bourbon, you're looking for a bourbon, you don't want to break the bank.
Drinker.
It's just a nice, easy drinker. I think it's spot on. What do you think, Ian?
I'm really surprised with it. I get it's very heavy on the nut flavors. Is what I get. I get a lot of nut flavors coming from that. The strength is good. I do like that.
Yeah,
like
this is like here.
Yeah, I think that
you can pour more. It's okay.
I'm a little surprised that when you say it's 7 years because it's not too heavy on the oak.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, it's not.
I think this just like came back out, and this already made my shelf gem list. Stuff for people looking for it. And the problem is a lot of this stuff, we tell people about it, then all of a sudden it becomes hard to get again.
Yeah.
But you got to keep bobbing and weaving to find those things that you don't have to spend days hunting something down for something that tastes good at a reasonable price.
Never mind the unicorns.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Well, but
something like-
this is what people are looking. I mean, people
Yeah.
who are looking for bourbon, this is
Sure.
sort of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
This hits all the right notes on this
It
stuff,
does. Yeah.
except for the hard to get.
Or as they say over there, ticks the boxes.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the boxes.
Good, like a good box ticked. Yes, but I do like that. I do have some history with Jim Beam. Back in my career, I have been part of the Jim Beam organization,
you go.
but based in
Well,
Scotland.
we don't hold that against them, though.
No. I have some great memories of those days. But yeah, it was good. Yes.
Yeah.
Great time.
So, all right, let me just check and see. Oh, we have a little bit of time left. Oh, I
Oh.
can torture you more.
Oh no.
Okay.
Minute and a half.
Do we need,
Minute and a half.
do we want to mention the fireflies?
Yeah, we probably should. We probably should get some housekeeping done anyways. Big sale on today. Please come into Julio's today. Big sale going on. Wine stock, wine tasting today at 2:00. Triple punch Saturday. I forgot to mention, if you're into the whole card and the dram card system, you get triple punches today. And I think there's some space left for this. I'm not sure. You'll have to call Fireflies. Fireflies and Julio's is doing a whiskey dinner, barbecue and whiskey. We're going to do Lock and Key, which is our private barrel selections. Randall and I are going to be doing that. It's 5 courses for $85, tax and gratuity included. Must be 21 years old to attend, of course. Reservations are required, so you pay for it.
One
Go through.
minute.
I would say you can go to eventbrite.com, a Firefly Barbecue, bbq.everbright.com. I, however, would just call Fireflies. It's 508-357-8883.
Isn't there something going to be about a cocktail that's coming at this?
There is
time?
a cocktail coming out. We're going to actually do, we got a new Woodford that we just did called the Brisket Man. And we're going to be doing a cocktail of one of my favorite cocktails, which is a paper plane.
Oh.
I love paper planes. If you have never had a paper plane, you will when you go to this dinner, and it'll become your new favorite drink too.
30.
So, all right. You want to try that?
Yeah, let's
What-
do some brisket. Man.
Yeah, we got 30 seconds. Why don't we?
So I do have to say that this
You're not
came-
going anywhere. You only have to fly in a plane, right?
I'm not flying it. No.
No, right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just sitting in the back and enjoying it. all.
This is one of our barrels that came in 2 weeks ago, joint
Yeah,
with
try it.
10
Fireflies,
seconds.
and it literally is almost gone. There's 3 bottles left on the shelf at this point.
All right, we're gonna try that. We want to thank Ian Palmer for coming in today and indulging us
My
and
pleasure.
telling us his story.
Pleasure.
Try Rye Law. You're gonna love it. Trust me on this one. See, Johnny on the spot has a bottle open. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Cheers,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Great job, Brian.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we're gonna get off
Until
Facebook.
next week.
See you